BWOne here from BWOne.com, and let's talk about the iPhone media event happening tomorrow, our coverage, and our predictions. So tomorrow, Apple's finally going to unveil their new iPhone or iPhones, depending on what rumors and sort of speculation that you're following out there. But before we get into sort of our speculation, our predictions of what's going to be coming out of that event, I want to let you guys know that we are going to be covering the event via our Twitter account as we get news. So definitely follow us at BWOne.com. That's BWONE.com. The link to that will be in our description, so you can follow us on Twitter. Also, those same updates will be pushed to our Facebook fan page, so we'll leave the link to our Facebook fan page. Give it a like, and you can keep up with the Apple news on there too. We're also gonna, after the events, after the press conference is over, we are gonna upload a summary video of everything that comes out of there. Pretty much the main features that come out of that press event. We'll kind of summarize it for you in a YouTube video and upload that. So definitely check that out too. Right after everything is, after dust is settled from this big iPhone media event. Now, what's going to come out of it? Are we going to get one iPhone, two iPhones, an iPhone 4S, an iPhone 5? What's really going to happen here? Well, this is sort of my thought and sort of my predictions. I believe that the next iPhone is going to be called the iPhone 4S, and I think that's because it's kind of what they did back then. I think this is going to be a bump in specs, and a bump in specs that kind of catch up with the current high-end Android phones that are out there. So it's probably going to have a dual-core processor. It's going to probably be a screen of 4 to maybe 4.5, probably like 4 or 4.3 inches is probably where the screen size is going to be. You know, you're going to get iOS 5 and then maybe some increased storage. They probably maybe 16 or maybe even 64 gigabyte storage might get added to it or something. But partly it's going to be, you know, 8 megapixel camera, 1080p video. It's going to be sort of an upgrade to sort of catch up with a lot of those high-end Android devices that kind of have these similar specs right now. And then I think they are going to offer a lower end option. That's going to be the current iPhone 4. This makes a lot of sense to sort of cut the price down on that, probably maybe at a $99 price point, because the specs on that kind of meet up with sort of the mid-range devices that are coming out now for Android that have the 1 gigahertz processor, 720p video recording, 5 megapixel camera, something similar to like the Samsung Conquer, AT&T Impulse. So those mid-range Android devices, the Pantech Breakout, another mid-range device that's a 4G device though, but still it's sort of in that tier where it could be, you know, the specs on the iPhone 4 still kind of meet that right there. And I expect the new iPhone 4S to be a little bit thinner, you know, sort of similar to what they did from the iPad to the iPad 2. I kind of think that's what they're going to do from the iPhone to iPhone 4S, because it just kind of makes sense. I don't think they're going to release an iPhone 5 right now. I think they're going to save that for next year to be a totally new revision. And also with pretty much all the carriers going to LTE, you know, AT&T has launched their LTE, Verizon's had their LTE up for a while now, Sprint's going to be launching their LTE network next year, and I believe for a fact T-Mobile has LTE kind of laid out there. They haven't turned it on, but I know they do have LTE sort of in their plans, and I think they have a lot of spectrum rolled out currently for that, because one of the reasons why AT&T kind of wants to buy them to kind of scoop up the spectrum to help their LTE out. With all those coming out next year, and that's pretty much what the carrier is going to be pushing, which is a lot of LTE devices. It's pretty much going to be the big push to 4G in that sense with LTE. It makes sense for kind of Apple to kind of save that for maybe releasing the iPhone on time in June. Well, the normal time frame in June, the iPhone 5 with LTE, maybe, you know, vamped up specs. You know, we heard I don't know if you heard that Samsung has, I think they've developed maybe 16 megapixel camera sensors for phones, so that could be something they could throw into there as well. And that'll probably be the point where phones will finally pretty much replace point and shoots kind of fully, or where it's really that transition is really going to happen. But I think that's where the iPhone 5 is going to be safe for 2012, since that's going to be the big year, 2012. You know, I can see a lot of marketing around 2012 and sort of the evolution and change of things. You know, kind of know how that goes. But back to the iPhone 4S, I think that's what they're going to be releasing out, and that just kind of makes sense there. Also, a lot of people have been trying to predict off of their little sort of the little graphic that they send out to everybody letting when the media event happens. It's pretty much got the date of the event, the time it's happening, a map kind of where it's happening at, a little map icon where it's happening, and also the phone icon with a 1 on it. Now, the only thing I think you can really depict out of that is with the 1 icon on it, which I think that means they're going to add one more carrier, and I think that carrier is going to be Sprint, which I think that's what that one means. And the map, I'm just putting on a bold prediction, and maybe they revamp their maps. They might not be using Google Maps anymore. They might even be, or they might be adding turn-by-turn navigation voice with it as well too. But I've heard that's not in any of the betas. But that could be something they could be adding to that too. Maybe strictly for the iPhone 4S for some reason, maybe because it needs to do dual processing or something. I don't know. But I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get the iPhone 4 probably at a $99 price point, and the iPhone 4S to start off at a $99 price point. It'll probably go up as you add storage and things of that nature. But I think that's where it's going to go. And I think the event's going to be not so much focused on the hardware, but a lot of the services where I think it's where it's going to be really seriously focused, which is, you know, the iCloud service and all those things that, you know, that they're going to be adding to iOS 5.5. I think that's what the focus is going to be about, because that's what a lot of the competitors are doing. If you looked at the Amazon Kindle press conference, they really didn't focus on sort of the hardware specs of the device. They had to focus on all the Amazon services that are tied into that particular device. So that's where I think that this is going to be going. So as far as the Apple Media event tomorrow, so all the cloud services, all the new things that they're going to be adding to it. So those are my predictions there. I could be totally wrong. I could be right on the money. Who knows? So post what you think below. You know, let me know what you think, either here on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook fan page. Let us know on Twitter what are your predictions for the iPhone media event that's going to be happening tomorrow. I think it's going to be an iPhone 4S and then an iPhone 4 getting a price drop, which will give them the mid-range and the higher range level right there to compete with Android, which kind of has that. It's kind of been dominating the sort of that double market right there. So this is BWOne here from BWOne.com, reminding you, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, become a fan of our Facebook fan page. Also check out our main website at BWOne.com. Link to that and all social media is in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.